Hi, I'm Caitlin, a job dispatcher for Midstate Air. Our company uses Smart Service 365 to simplify our job process, connecting our dispatchers, technicians, sales reps, and managers within a single 100% mobile cloud-based software system. Let me show you how it works. Let's start by looking at the scheduler. Here you can see the plan for today. Each row here represents a technician's schedule. Midstate Air.
Hey, this is Benjamin Parsons. My building is having some air conditioning problems. How soon can you send someone out?
To get started, I'll click on the scheduler. Since Benjamin is a longtime customer, I can easily find his information. I'll put in some basic details about this service. Then ask Smart Service 365 to find the best possible scheduling window for me. Let's see. I'm looking for a 2-hour window within a day for a technician that can fix air conditioners. When I click the next available, I'll have a list of techs to choose from. Selecting a technician will dispatch the work order directly to them.
Hi, I'm Josh, a service technician for Midstate Air, and today I'm going to show you how I use Smart Service 365 to complete work in the field. When I log into Smart Service 365, I'll see my schedule for the day. Looks like my first appointment is a service call for Benjamin Parsons. Here are the notes from Caitlin, my dispatcher. If I need to, I can review my customer's contact info, service history, or equipment information. When I'm ready to go, I can change my status to say that I'm traveling to my job. Once I've arrived, I can indicate that I've started working. These status updates will help the folks in the office track my progress. After I diagnose the problem with my customer's air conditioner, I can add line items to start building up the work order. Then, with another tap, I can convert this work order into an invoice. Once I finish working, I can collect a signature and payment from my customer.
I went back home for lunch, but I can still log in from here to check on Josh's progress. I can also check in on the current locations and job progress of my other technicians, and take a look at all the invoices for today. This will give me a great picture of the health of our company.
Good morning and welcome to Smart Service 365 TV. I'm Denver, and today I'm going to be taking you through Smart Service 365, our web-based scheduling program. Now, before we get going, I know a lot of you will want your own personalized demonstration of the program. So you can come over to smartservice.com/Denver and scroll down to the yellow button that says Schedule a Demonstration. Click that and schedule a demonstration with me. Now I want to start off on our dispatch board right here. I like to think of this as the brain of our program. And I'm sure you can see all my appointment blocks here. And this runs in a horizontal view, which I'm sure is pretty straightforward for those of you that have used a digital calendar before. Now, today I'm going to go through some of the features here on the dispatch board. Then we're going to build up a quote, turn it into a work order, and then invoice it out. If we have time, we're also going to touch on customer a little bit and the route plan. So right here, again, you can see all my appointment blocks scheduled out for the day. And my two different departments over here on the left. I have sales and service. Now you can have as many departments or as few as you like. And the great thing is they're collapsible. So if you just want to work within one department at a time, you can come and close them down. So it's a little less chaotic. Now over here, I'm going to right click on Randy here and show you a fun little feature. You can see his appointments for the day with the plot appointments feature. And it's going to produce this little quick view map right here. Now this is super handy for any scheduler because if you go and add another job to Randy, and let's say it was way up here in Ashley, you're probably going to want to reschedule that for a technician that's a little bit closer. And your next question becomes, who's closer right now? Well, if I open the map view up here at the top, I can find out just that information with a live GPS location of where my technicians are. Now, these two maps hand in hand make scheduling very easy. They take most of the guesswork out of it. Close that out up here. Now, I know a lot of you will schedule jobs and then immediately pick up your cell phone and text or call your technician in the field. That definitely wears on time for you, and it adds up. You don't have to do that anymore. You can come over here and send a text message, or if you like, if I just built this job up here, I can use the Dispatch Now button to send a text message with all the pertinent appointment information. And that way, if your technician isn't very good about constantly checking their schedule, they're going to get this notification that they have a new appointment, so that they're not going to miss out on it. Now, for those of you that like to route, we do have a quick routing option right here where I can route Randy's jobs for the day. And we do have a more extensive route plan, which I'll go through a little bit later. You can also get directions in Google Maps as well. And if I need a quick view of my employee, I can open it right here with Open Employee. And we also have a Human Resource tab, but this is just a quick view here. And I get this question a lot about how many things are my technicians able to do in the field? Well, that's completely up to you. And as you can see, Randy's abilities are restricted down to about a third. I have an administrator view as I'm going through here. And you can have as many or as few permissions for your technicians as you like. And you can even turn off line item pricing. Just going to close that out here and leave Randy the way he is. Now, I know a lot of you will have customers call in and say, I have to cancel for the day, still need the work done, don't know when. Or you're waiting on a part to come in, or the job's on hold for whatever reason. Now, it's kind of tricky if you have to rebuild a work order every time this happens, or if you're just putting a paper stack together and losing files, forgetting about them. It's easy to do. We have a waiting list for that, and it's right down here at the bottom. And all you have to do to put a job on that is right-click here, come to Status, and hit Waiting List. And that job is going to pop right down on our waiting list. And when you need to find a job, you can come here and search any of these fields. So if I just want to see, say, Caleb's jobs, start typing in Caleb, and his work orders will come up. And that way you're not going to forget about any work that needs done and you had to put on hold for a little while. Now, I do want to mention my appointment blocks again. And right now I have them colored by status. Now you have a lot of different options to color by. You go by city, description, zip code, and on it goes. So any way you're scheduling right now, we can accommodate. And my color legend right now shows if it's scheduled, if the technician's en route, arrived, working, or completed. And I do want to touch on the en route option. If your technician selects that block out as they're on their way to the appointment, the system will notify your customer in a text message that they're on their way, which is very convenient for everybody. Now I want to come down here to Jess and build up that quote I was talking about earlier. I know a lot of you do estimates or quotes, so this will be pretty familiar to you. Just going to click and drag and start with a quote. Now I could just jump right to a work order for those of you that don't do the estimates, or just do an appointment block if I wasn't ready to do a quote or a work order yet, but I wanted to save that time frame. So we'll start out here. Start out here. Cancel that real quick. Refresh this. And I'm just going to reset that real quick. And go with a quote. Now, I'm going to pull from my customer list, but I do want you to know you can create a new customer on the fly right here. Very convenient. And all this information is pretty straightforward. Anything you would be capturing right now, name, contact information, billing address, phone numbers, that sort. But we do have a really great feature over here, and it's called Source. This is where you can track where your customer is coming to you from. Now, this is convenient for those of you that are running advertisements, or if you just like to know if somebody did a referral for you. And you can customize those fields any way you like. They can be anything you want. We also have customer type. This is great for those of you that have residential and commercial, or if you have preferred customers, you can do that over here. You can also use it to tag out if you like grumpy customers. I do get that question quite a lot. Now, I'm not going to go through and build up a full customer. I'm just going to use an existing one. So, see what I have down here. I'm going to go with Logan. Logan's information pops in right here. And we have a notes section. We can add notes right in there. And I'm going to need a description for the quote. I'm going to call it a service call 22. Now, if I didn't like where I pulled that appointment block, I can reset it here with this handy time clock, and it does hours, minutes. You can even reset the day if you didn't like the day. It's going to keep it as it is. We do have the ability to add crews on here, and you can pre-build those as well. And the great thing about crews is if you apply a crew to this job and you select your lead technician, it won't just show for your lead technician. It will filter down to every member of the crew. So they'll have all the important information they need about that appointment, and it'll populate out on their schedule. Set windows, pre-notifications, priority levels. I'm going to set this as low. And type. And this is service call, so I'm going to see what I have under service calls here. We'll call it service call repair. Now down here we have a tags feature. This is great. If you're running into something frequently, locked gates, dogs, anything you can think of, you encounter, 10, 15 times a month, you don't have to type it into notes every time. You can just click it down here, and it'll show up for your technician out in the field. So I'm going to save that. There's our quote. Pretty straightforward, very quick. But we do have an even faster way, and I want to show you that over here. You can pre-build work orders right over here. And I'm just going to pull another service call. And all you have to do is click and drag it. And put a customer name in. Hit Emily, and all the information populates in that you would pre-build into that work order. Now this is convenient for those of you that have appointments that are very similar in time frame and just, repetitive. So it took about 5 seconds to build that up, and all my information populates in. And you only have to fill those out once, and they can be whatever you want. So I'm going to go into our quote now. And before I do, if I roll over it, I can get a quick view of information right here. So if I need anything, little information, I can get that right there without opening the quote up. So I'm going to open up our appointment block here and go into our quote, which is right here. And here we are. Now let's just imagine where your technician is out in the field and they're about to do the quote. Now they need to add line items, give your customer some pricing, and you can do that right here. I'm going to say service trip charge, and just do a flat rate, save that. We also have a wonderful price book, and for those of you that are unfamiliar, you're really going to enjoy this. For those of you that have worked with a price book, this will be pretty straightforward for you. And it is worth noting, you can have as many price books in our system as you like. Where some systems do restrict that, we do not. So I'm going to come over here and say I want electrical. And you work this just like a family tree. You just drill down until you get the part that you need. I need smoke detector. And this is great if you don't know the exact model number, because then your technician can line up the picture and select the right one. And then just add it. Now I'm going to do that and hit back, and as you can see, there's the item that we needed to add right there on that quote. And we can also do group items as well too, and this is great for those of you that'll do a job and it has 6 or 20 pieces and you don't want to go in manually and add 20 every time. You can do those right here. with group items. And you would pre-build these. I'll just use my service items real quick, and it's going to pop in 3 different parts for you, part A, B, and C. Now, this is super handy for those of you that do have jobs that have many pieces that go to them, because you can build those up once and never have to worry about them again. And that way your technician's not going to forget to charge for something, you know, like a little part that's $20 or $30, but it is necessary to charge for. All right, so we built up our quote, and now we want customer approval. We can take signature right here. Your terms and conditions will be right there. Or if you want to send this out, you can email it right to your customer. And if you've taken any images or added any fillable PDFs, which our system can accommodate on here, you can attach them to the email as well. And you can have a preset message that you can pop in here, or you can change it. Just going to close that out because it would just send an email to my personal email because I have my system set to my own. You would have your system set to your own personal email to get return emails, but going out, it would go directly to your customer. Now, we sent that out, and let's imagine we have customer approval. We took our signature. I want to turn this into a work order. I don't have to fill out a bunch of forms. I don't have to press a bunch of buttons. I hit one button, work order. System will make sure it's okay. And there's our work order right there. Work order is very simple. It's just top to bottom, just like the quote. And these arrows up here are actually interactive for your technician. And this is the en route I touched on earlier. If they hit that, that's where your text message from the system will come out from and notify your customer. And they can move through this system as they arrive at the job, they're working on it, and as they complete it out. Now, if they don't, you can manually change it back in the office. It won't hurt anything. And it isn't necessary for invoicing. Now, as you can see, there are items that we added on there. And if you wanted to track images, you can do that right here with our equipment feature. I know a lot of you like to take images of customer equipment. You just need a description, and here you can track your manufacturer, model, part number, warranty dates. This is where you can add a photo. And you can just pull a photo in from there. Now, I'm not going to create a new one right here. I'm just going to close that out. And I do want to let you know that you also have the ability, if you don't want to track all that, you can just take one-off images down here in attachments, like before and after photos, just quick. And this is also where you can add your fillable PDFs. So any forms you have right now that you need, you can have them uploaded into the system as a fillable PDF. This is great for my pool people who have chemical checklists that they need to go through with every single customer. And that PDF will tie directly to your customer, just as the equipment will. So it's not just going to be on the quote or work order. It'll tie right to the customer. And I'll touch on that a little more as we go through customers later. Now, let's imagine this job has been completed out, and we want to invoice it. Oh, before we do, I want to touch on history real quick. Right down here with history, you can click on that and pull a previous work order history and quote history of that customer. So this is going to eliminate your technician calling you back in the office to ask, hey, was work completed here by so-and-so 6 months ago, a year ago? You don't have to dig through files. You don't have to do any searches. They're going to have that information on hand out in the field. All right, so let's turn this into an invoice, and then we're going to do that right there. Same as quote to work order. Just click one button and verify that's what you want to do. And you have an invoice. Real easy. Now from here, you can integrate this over to QuickBooks Online. You can send it out to your customer in an email. You can attach images to it. And you can take payment. Now let's come down here and take payment on it. You can take credit card, electronic check, cash, or make note of a paper check. Now I'm not going to put my banking information up here, so I'm just going to close this out in cash. There we go. Now our invoice has been paid. So I'm going to close these out and come back to our dispatch board. Excuse me. So here's our appointment block, and as you can see, because I didn't affect any of the arrows, it's still just scheduled. But if I had, it would complete out, and I want to show you how to do that manually. In case you have a forgetful technician, you can come down here to status and just hit completed. We know that job's been completed. Let's reload that real quick. There we go. Pop screen right there for you. And as you can see, my other colors for the other statuses of my jobs as we go through. Now I want to touch on the blue pyramid real quick here. Get questions about this frequently. This is just a quick view of how many appointments are within that time frame. So you can find out at a glance when your busiest times are and if you need to adjust appointments throughout the day, kind of vary it up. All right, so we went through a quote, a work order, and an invoice. Now I want to show you those individual screens and how you can break down that information as well. I'm over here in my quote screen, which is here. This is a grid view of all the quotes I have. You can also get a map view of it as well. You can also get chart breakdowns of your quotes and calendar view. Now I like visuals, so this is pretty handy. I'm going to take this back to the grid view so I can show you how you can search these fields and apply filters. If I just want to find for a certain employee, I can do that. So if I just want to see Jess's, I can come down here and search Jess's. You have a bunch of quotes for him. He's probably my favorite technician to pick on. Close that out there. And you can apply multiple filters, and when you do, you can also pull reports of the information that you filtered down. You can do the same in the work order screen and the customer screen, which we are on right now, and I want to show you how all that information we just created ties to those customers. Back to dispatch board here real quick. Pop there. Come down to Logan. Open Logan up here. Now here we're in Logan, and right here you can see you can track notes, phone calls, see previous appointments. Here's that service call we scheduled. There's a quote for it. There's a work order for it. And the invoice for it. And here you would have your equipment and attachments as well. Now the great thing is when you take a quote to a work order to an invoice, it doesn't destroy the quote and it doesn't destroy the work order. You have all three records that you can go back and search for, and you can find them all here under your customers or in those work order, quote, and invoice screens also. Close that out, and I want to show you the ability to search in customers as well. For those of you that have multiple types of customers, you can come over here and apply filters, and these fields can be whatever you want, but I'm just going to pull up my residential customers. So I want to find out my residential. Here they are, all right here, and I can get a map view of those over here and see where they're at. I want to come over here to the invoice screen again. Very similar to the quote or the work order screen. And here's that work order we just did. And you can see the status is paid. And you can apply a filter over here as well to see your open and paid ones. I just want to see paid. Apply that and it filters down for me. Get a chart breakdown of the information from your work orders, which is pretty handy. You can see where your money's coming in from. And I'm going to go within that work order real quick and touch on the QuickBooks integration again. You can send this over to QuickBooks Online right here. And speaking of QuickBooks Online, I do get the question a lot of bringing information over from QuickBooks Online, and you can do that within our system. You can pull directly from QuickBooks Online into 365, which makes it very convenient, so you're not going to have to rebuild your customer list. Now we have a little bit of time, so I want to go through quickly our route plan over here. This is going to be fun. Now, as you can see, I have a map here, Columbus, so bear with me on that. I know you're all in different areas. But these are all my unrouted jobs right now. So I've built these up and I have not scheduled them out to anybody. So to do that, I just hit Begin Draw, and I'm going to circle up some of my work orders. There we go. Now I have some pre-built routes, and you can build a new route on the fly if you want. I typically recommend just building your routes up in advance and designating who you want them to go to. So I'm going to say Jess, because we've been working with him this morning. Now these all turn orange, Jess's color. And I want to circle up the rest of the jobs. So I'm going to circle all the rest over here and give them to Brian. Now, unless your technician is Superman, that's way too many jobs for a day. So we're going to need to break that down a little bit. So I'm going to come over here, unselect Brian's. I can just see Jess's, and I'm going to circle up top 3 over here. And I'm going to make these day 1. And the same thing again, and I'm going to make the remainder day 2. Now, if I come down here, you can see day 1, day 2. I click here. It's going to give me a quick view breakdown of my stops. Same thing with day 2. Now, if I go back over to route plan details, see the routed and optimized, you'll see the full breakdown of Jess's route. And when you're ready, you can push these live to the dispatch board right down here. And when you push them over to the dispatch board, they'll just present as the appointment blocks here with the work orders within them at the appropriate time frame, and your route plan will be completely maximized. So your technician is going to save a lot of time if you route up your jobs. Now we touched on quote, work order, invoice today. We went through customers, went through route plan. When you're ready to schedule your own demonstration of Smart Service 365, you can come over here to smartservice.com/Denver. Come down to the yellow button, schedule a demonstration with me, and we will go through all the questions that you have about how you schedule and your business within 365. I hope you enjoy your day, and thank you for tuning in to Smart Service 365 TV.